Hey everybody, Chip Kosei here with the Kosei Law Firm, and welcome again to NOLA Brain Injury Support and Resources Facebook group. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about interdiction. Now, one of our previous member, or one of our current members, emailed me about some issues they were having with a loved one that had a traumatic brain injury, and as a result of either a settlement or an award by a jury, received some sum of money, and I think it was pretty substantial, only to be broke a few years later from people taking advantage of them. And of course, they were in a compromised state mentally. And so in a previous video, I had talked about interdiction and why that may be important for your loved one. But I thought it would be a good response to that question to get into the weeds a little bit about this today and explain exactly what that is and exactly how you should go about obtaining one. An interdiction in, the most common sense is called a civil death. Basically, you're not allowed to handle your own affairs for yourself anymore because of a physical or mental incapacity to do so. So if there is a loved one who is concerned about a person with a traumatic brain injury, it's important to investigate this process. So what will you need to do it? Now, here in Louisiana, we call it interdiction. Somewhere else, it may be called something else, but I just don't know. So you would need a doctor that is either a treating physician on a physical issue or on the brain injury to be able to opine in a report and then be able to testify to this fact later on in court that the person is either physically or mentally incapable of handling their own affairs. If that is the judgment of the court after the testimony, then the subject person will be interdicted, and there will be a curator. In Louisiana, we call a man a curator and a female a curatrix. I don't know why, we just do it. So that person then will be entrusted and have perhaps one of the greatest legal duties of anyone to handle another's affairs. They have what's called a fiduciary duty to collect, preserve, and administer those assets of that person's estate. So they would then be entrusted to handle those affairs, pay their bills, handle investments, make sure the investments are not too aggressive, that it perhaps are moderate, and that they're reflected over the person's expected lifetime, to make sure that those funds will be there until their expected date of death, and then handle doctor's appointments and all those sorts of things. So there are attorneys that handle this. Some of them would be within the realm of what we call elder law attorneys, but it's not always the case. Usually an attorney that will handle like successions or any sort of estate work is generally well prepared to do this. And depending on your jurisdiction, there may be a court proceeding. They may actually require the interdict or the potential interdict to come in and testify, and then the judge may question that person. And if there's not a loved one that is properly or can withstand the vetting process by the court, there are other people or organizations that can be entrusted to handle this. There are trustees, and sometimes you can kind of bifurcate or split who handles what. For example, maybe it's best to have some checks and balances and have an actual trust company with a certain amount of billions of assets and insurance and things like that to handle the financial part of it, and then the other person to handle their day-to-day affairs, shopping, keeping the home up, things like that. So I sure hope this gives you a little bit further insight, and I sure hope it properly answers a question from one of our members so that your loved ones can be properly protected, because they're vulnerable right after the accident that causes their brain injury, but maybe even more so if they receive a substantial sum, because they can be victimized fairly easily. Hope this video helps everybody. Check us out on Facebook, like our page, and also if you sign up and just give us your email address, you'll be entitled to daily videos from us with other helpful topics. Thanks a lot, and have a great one.